And good afternoon, everyone. It's Max at Luna Replicas, and it's a nice, kind of windy, late January afternoon. It's like 50 degrees outside, and I'm now weatherman, apparently. Um, just want to say hi to everybody. A couple of updates since the last time we did this. Um, but we did an auto show. Actually, we did the Philadelphia Auto Show, and that was interesting. Josh and Brandon came out and helped out with the auto show, and it was really neat. 10-day shows are a lot of work, but it's neat to meet everybody, and we did a lot of Shelby stuff at the auto show. Trying to figure out the rest of the year's schedule, though, as far as coming to stuff, doing a bunch of astronaut stuff. We have some stuff coming up in April at the Tulsa Museum there. We're doing an Apollo 13 event. We're actually sponsoring a table at an Apollo 13 event, and Fred Hayes is going to be there, and Jerry Griffin, and maybe Charlie Duke or somebody. I don't know who's going to be there, but they're still working on guests. But yeah, so I did want to say, I hope everyone's having a good month. A lot of stuff going on. But we can live in this land rather than in reality land for a little bit. I did want to talk about something we just got back in stock are the Bulova lunar module pilots. And these are super cool. Is it going to focus? Is it going to focus? Maybe, maybe not. There we go. That's a little better. So these are put out by Bulova. It is basically a copy of the watch, sort of an experimental watch that Dave Scott wore on Apollo 15 on his wrist. His Speedmaster broke actually at some point during a repressurization on 15. And these are really, really neat. Functionally, it's the same as a Speedmaster, other than it is quartz. It's a quartz movement. But, you know, it's got 3 subdials, minutes. It's, your seconds, minutes, hours. Or rather, I'm sorry, it's seconds, tenths of a second, and minutes up to 60 minutes. So it's an hour timer, whereas the Speedmaster is a 12-hour timer, and it's seconds, minutes, hours. The seconds being the big second hand on the dial, and then the subdials are minutes and hours up to 12 hours. But, I mean, functionally, these are pretty close. And we have these listed right now on the website. There's some really neat stuff that we're including them with. They're hard to get. They're around, but like the retail price on them is like $700 or something. I try and get them for less than that, and then I pass on, basically whatever I get them for, plus some taxes and stuff. And I try and bring them out to the public because it's a really great. It's better than an entry level, honestly. I mean, this is for like $400 or less than $400. This is a phenomenal watch. It's a 20 millimeter lug, so it fits any watch band that you have that like would fit an Omega fits on these. I really like these. I've worn them for a while. I always wear my Speedmaster just because of the nostalgia and stuff. But you got to wind it every day. It's an older style watch. Every once in a while you got to reset it because you might have forgotten to wind it or whatever. This, they last for a year or two. You do have to change the batteries, but they're easy to get. Any shop could be able to do that. They're really, really nice looking. They're incredibly well made. They come with a watch band. This is on the long watch band right now. This is the long gray watch band, which is what Dave Scott's watch showed up at auction when it sold at auction a few years ago for whatever it was, like $1.5 million. It was on this long watch band, and remember that goes on by is I have this on the Forstner band. I wear my Speedmaster on a Forstner with the date on there, the date calendar, wrist calendar. And this goes on the wrist like so. You kind of brace it and then wrap. Wrap it once around and boop, right there. And that's super cool. And, you know, you can tuck it under. Anyway, we'll put this on here now. And the Comfit is really cool, the Forstner Comfit band, because it's infinitely adjustable. Is, you know, this just it's friction on there, and then you can adjust it open or closed as you wish. This is set up for about 7.5 inches, which is what my wrist is. But I think, like, if you've got an 8-inch wrist, a 9-inch wrist or something, it'll work. And that's what's really cool about the Comfit. Also, it just disappears. It's one of those things that it disappears on your wrist. It feels really comfortable. And this Comfit will fit on the Bulova, and it looks really nice because they're both sort of in that high polish look. The Bulova has a sapphire crystal, so it's almost as hard as diamond. Sapphire is really close to diamond hardness. Really, really neat. I think we could do a screen share here and come up with a couple of you could see what's on the site right now, because I just added let's see, I just added we got 5 of them in, and I added them to the website. Be neat if maybe we could auction one off or raffle one off maybe later this year. Do a raffle. And someone's at the door. Who is at the door? Someone seems to be at the door. I might need to come back if that's something important. Let's see. Trusty, you know, ring camera here. Oh, no. Packages. Such is life. Let's see. See if we can pull up something on lunareplica.com. Take a look at how things are going. And I might do another live stream from a remote location another time next week. We have some updates to the Astrovet project. I think it'd be really cool to maybe do a live stream from County Corvette. Let's see. Do I have... For some reason, my computer's run a little slowly today, but we're going to share this screen no matter what. We're getting this working. Here we go. Luna Replicas. There we go. Awesome. So, what we're looking at here. Couple of things actually on top of this. We were talking about the rock hammers at some point. So the rock hammers are super cool. These are exact recreations of the rock hammer. Both versions. There was an early one that we just saw, the early one, and then there was a later one. And this is kind of a neat little... It shows the experiment of the hammer versus a feather on the moon. You know what happens basically in a vacuum? A feather and a hammer will land at the same time. Well, this is actually the hammer landing and then falling over. It's sort of a little diorama you could put on your desk or something. Anyway, we have Bulova Lunar Pilots back in stock. This is a picture of the watch I'm wearing here. And it comes with a couple of couple of things. It comes with the Velcro strap, as well as the leather. In the box, it has a leather strap as well. So the box that Bulova comes with a leather, like a NATO leather strap. I want to show you a really cool picture here. And I've showed this a couple of times. It's been up on Instagram and Facebook. This is a picture of one of our customers, friend of mine, who serves his country on the U-2 plane. So this is a actual one of our watches with our watch band on duty, 70,000 feet at least, in the Black Dragon, or the Dragon Lady. Tyler asks, are they 42? I believe they're like a 45 millimeter. There's a newer version that's a 42 millimeter, and they're very difficult to get. Yeah, the Archive series. We get this version, the other Archive series, the earlier Archive series, because I know that they came out with this 42 millimeter version, but I'm fairly certain the original was this size, and that's what came out first. They are, I think they're 44 millimeter, something like that. Yeah, 45 millimeter. They don't wear like a 45 millimeter though. They feel much smaller on the wrist. They're really quite wearable, and the height of it, the thickness of the watch is not unbearable either. There are some really, really thick chronographs out there now. Even Omega makes like a Planet Ocean chronograph that's just like wearing a brick on your wrist. This is actually much more manageable, and because the lugs form downwards, they have this downward slope. It hugs to your wrist really quite well. I might even have, yeah, this should do it. You can see here, this is my weird drafting ruler. Anyway, it fits really well, much smaller than a true 45 millimeter. The Omega Speedmaster is a 41.5 technically. And on some wrists it actually fits kind of small because it wears pretty small too. You're able to, the bracelet is able to fully move 90 degrees from the lugs, the spring bars. It's the same thing with the Bulova. So you see, they're not that different in size. So it wears really nicely, even at 45 millimeters. What else can we talk about? If any of you guys are football fans, my hometown Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. Not that I'm the biggest sports fan in the world, but it's cool when the hometown goes to the Super Bowl. That's always neat. Steve, I see your comment there. We're not reproducing the Bulova watch. These are from Bulova. This is I get them from a third party that sells Bulova is Citizen. I get these, when they come available at a dealer price, or even just retail when the price comes down around holiday times or something like that. I try and pick them up. I'm just making the straps. We do the reproduction NASA style Velcro, 3M Velcro brands, actual 3M Velcro too. We're using real mil-spec 3M brand Velcro, which is a registered trademark, and we use their actual material, and we sew them all in the US. They're sewn here. We have the metal ring made here to the exact spec, And they are made with mil-spec materials. Even the thread, it's mil-spec thread directly from military suppliers. I forget the exact number, but the watches are directly from Bulova. We don't make watches. But thank you. It's very nice to be able to put these out for the public, and people can enjoy them and make them part of their daily life. I forgot I had this over here, actually. I think the battery died on it. Wait a minute, let's see. But this is actually a Bulova panel clock out of an aircraft from 1967. And you see how little it is? It's actually an Accutron, which is the famous, like the Bulova space watches. They made the Accutron Astronaut and the Accutron Space View and a couple of other Accutrons. So this is a wristwatch movement in the back here. It's an incredibly accurate watch. They I forget what the beat rate was, but it was like thousands of tens of thousands of beats. If you ever wanted to see something really cool, look up the Accutron. I have a couple of other Accutrons, but these are getting kind of rare. The dash clocks, and this is like an unissued one. And the battery died, but these are super, super cool. They were some of the first clocks where the watch was developed to be worn on the X15 and the SR-71. The idea being the beat rate was so high because it was a tuning fork movement. The tuning fork vibrated, which then moved the jewels, which then turned the second hand. It actually hummed. It was a humming movement. It was really neat. And I wish it was running because you could actually, I could put it up next to the microphone. You could hear the hum. I have batteries for it somewhere, but they're a special kind of battery because they're a weird voltage or something. But yeah, these were developed. The watch and the dash clock were developed and used by early astronauts and supersonic jet pilots because they believed it was anti vibration and it couldn't be affected by those high speeds. I think most watches probably wouldn't be affected by those high speeds unless, something caused you to stop very quickly or you banged it against something. These were really, really neat. And some of them made it to the space program too. There were Accutron astronauts that were worn by pilots. They had a 24-hour hand on there, so they were just inherently kind of a GMT. The Accutron astronaut, actually, the bezel turned to change your time zone. It was really neat. I have one in the case over here, but I'll get that later. So look them up if you're ever interested in the history of watches and stuff. The Accutron line, the original Accutron line, really, really neat. And Bulova still makes stuff under the Accutron line, but they're not the tuning fork movement. This movement is actually a 262 hertz movement. So this is very accurate, but it's a standard. It's like a high-end quartz movement, a really high-end quartz movement. Whereas the original Bulova, the Accutron movements were a tuning fork electric movement, so there was no quartz involved. What's neat also about the original watch that Dave Scott wore was it was a mechanical watch. It also wasn't quite made by Bulova. They were made overseas. Actually, I think they were made in Switzerland, but finished in the U.S. And Bulova was trying to get the NASA contract, which they lost to Omega. And then, they, instead of trying to lobby NASA, they went to lobby the astronauts themselves, which is how Dave Scott wound up with one in his pocket. There might have only been like 3 or 4 of these. I've never seen another one, but someone else has found this model watch. I think they were trying to make maybe a diver version of or something. Bulova was making dive watches. There was some other history with them, but again, Bulova long-standing company. By the way, speaking of long-standing American watch companies, Hamilton has opened this store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is the town. Lancaster is where the original Hamilton Watch Company is from. Um, they opened this store and it's phenomenal. I went there a few months ago and it's really, really cool Hamilton shop. There's not a lot of Hamilton factory stores. There's a lot of dealers and stuff that sell them and they're available online. But this store is a really cool, like, throwback place. It's this long store in an old storefront. It looks like it was like an old bank or an investment trust building or something like that. They have these old safes that they actually use, hand painted outside of the safe and stuff. They do events and stuff there. They just featured it, actually. I believe they just featured it on their Facebook page. It's just this incredible. Here, let's see if we can find it. Yeah, here it is. So this has become this really, really neat. Wait a minute. There we go. Accept cookies, sure. Oh, Tyler says it was originally another watch company in the what became the Hamilton Watch Store. This place is super cool, and I highly recommend it. If you happen to be anywhere near Lancaster, which if you're in Philadelphia, it's about an hour and a half drive. It's not far. This is it totally worth going. And I've told people a number of times, and Hamilton is a Swatch brand. So Omega and Hamilton, Swatch, there's a number of other brands that they own. These are made in Switzerland alongside Omegas and, really, really high-end stuff. And it's still affordable. So it's part museum and part store. And this is what I'm talking about. These old safes are right in there. It's really, really cool. And I highly recommend it. And I went there as they were closing, and we chatted for half an hour. I just happened to be driving past it. I knew nothing about this. But they're open 7 days a week, and totally, highly, highly recommend going to this place. And it just opened last July, I guess. Founded in 1892, reopened. Here, former Bowman Watchmaking School. So Tyler was right. It's a really neat place. I have some cool stuff to show you guys. Speaking of, Swatch has come out with, and I'm still figuring out a way to carry these in the store. And I might just go buy some and put them on the site for basically what I paid for it. They have the new Mission to Moon Phase watches. Is this in here? Did I take this out? Yeah, there's nothing in there. Mission to the Moon Phase. So this is sort of the continuation of what they've been doing, what Swatch has been doing with the Speedmaster. They come out with another Speedmaster Swatch here. Mission to Earth Phase. And I just picked this up the other day, and I've been so excited about these. I don't get a chance to wear these very often. I have a bunch of the regular Moon Swatch, but these came out, and they are absolutely phenomenal. And by the way, our watch bands, our NASA style watch bands, fit on the Moon Swatch. They are 20 millimeter lugs. And this one has an Earth phase and a Moon phase. I'm not quite sure how to set the Earth phase, frankly. So I think it's based on how the Earth looks from the Moon. So I would guess you can look it up online. And then set your Earth phase dial, which is... Wait, will this work? Come on. Come on. No, know. See if I can. Anyway, there is a way to set this so that it's absolutely perfect. I think I have this set up as best I can. I know that we're in the new moon now, so I know the moon phase is correct. But the Earth phase, I have no idea, to tell you the truth. If anybody has an idea of how this works, but so for whatever this is, like $300 or something, you're getting an incredible watch. These are really, really neat. And they are a Speedmaster. They are a licensed, they're made by Swatch, which owns Omega. They are a collaboration between Omega and Swatch, and I highly recommend just going to the Swatch store. Is really cool. They're really fun places. They just renovated the one in King of Prussia. There's one in New York City. They're all over the place. I think there's some in airports and stuff. They're really neat places. Plus, you get battery changes for life. So you buy a Swatch either there, or I think if you just own a Swatch, you can just go there and get your battery changed. And if they don't have the battery, they'll order one for you and they'll put it in, whenever you come back. I think they might even be able to ship it to your house. But I mean, for the money, these are really cool. And no kidding. They measure out, they are the same size as a real Speedmaster. I know when these first came out, it was very polarizing. If you believed they were real Moonwatch or not, or if they were going to devalue actual Speedmasters and whatnot. Didn't devalue anything. In fact, I think because it made this more accessible, more people went out and got Speedmasters. And Speedmasters have just been iconic forever. Plus the box they come in is really cool. It comes with all this stuff. And they call it bioceramic. It's kind of a plastic material. When traveling through space, unexpected views can be appreciated. Not only Moon has phases, the Earth has phases as well. And remember, the first time human eyes saw an Earthrise, where the Earth rose above the Moon's surface, was on Apollo 8, which we just had the anniversary of that in December. It was basically Christmas is the Apollo 8 anniversary. Now, another thing, we're kind of doing a watch episode, I guess, here. The other thing that they came out with is the 50 fathoms. And this is called the Ocean of Storms, which is it's a lunar ocean. And it's a mechanical watch. This is an automatic made by Swatch that replicates the Blancpain 50 fathoms, which was their dive watch. It's one of the first true dive watches, and these are really neat too. And they light up, and they're automatic. They light up meaning they have really nice lume on them. I haven't even taken this out yet. This is super, super cool. It's just one of those things that I'm so glad they're doing stuff like this, because they're making stuff more accessible. Oh, it comes with a really nice NATO strap too. Look at that. And they're kind of combining things here, right? So this is a scuba watch based on the Blancpain 50 fathoms watch, which they've been making forever, since the 60s. One of these kind of skin diver style watches. But it is and this is not a quartz. This is an automatic movement. Actually, it has, here, let's see if we can see it. Yeah. It's got a rotor in there and everything, you can see. I'm going to wear this. Yeah, this is super cool. The back plate of the watch actually has some graphic of the moon. It's engraved with the graphic of the moon surface. So they're combining, Speedmaster lunar stuff with with diving, which actually kind of works if you think about it, because the oceans change with the moon phases. Obviously, there's different tides and there's different, the moon affects the ocean. A bit of a stretch, but at least we get a really cool watch out of it. Why not? And there's a couple different flavors. I think there's a white one. I think there's a blue one. This is the black one with white dial or white hands. Really, really neat watch. And it is a rated dive watch. This is actually rated and fully sealed. It's a 50 meter, I think, or 100. What is it? No, 300 feet. So what's that? 91 meters. So about 100 meters or so. This is a legit dive watch. And it has a date window. And it's really cool looking. I'm actually going to put it on right now. Let me set it. And then we'll put it on right now. And I'm a weird stickler about this. They have to be set directly to the Navy Master clock, especially if it's going to be a dive watch. Got to be accurate. Time.gov, everybody. 4:15. Oh, it doesn't have a hacking feature. That's interesting. 4:15 and 30 seconds. So we'll just go right now. Oh, yeah. It's just like a Speedmaster. So you give it a little back pressure. It stops the second hand from moving. All right, we'll go with that. And what's today's date? The 29th of January. Man, this year's flying by already. How do you wind this? It's either, I can't tell if it's forward or, I think it's back. I think you turn it towards you to wind it, because you can hear the click when you turn it away. You hear that? So it's got to be winding towards you. I'm going to try this on. I really like this NATO. This is a really nice NATO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 band NATO. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 band. Plastic buckles, so we'll see how long that lasts. But good bit of NATO strap here, man. Of course, my giant wrist. I need like extra long NATOs, and they don't really. They make them, but they don't make them frequently. Like Omega doesn't make an extra long NATO, so when I get them, I usually have to. I don't cut it, but I could. That's neat. I'm going to wear that. So that is the Ocean of Storms. Bioceramic 50 fathoms. The Swatch Blancpain collaboration there. And it comes in a really nice box, actually. This is a cool case. Very proud to have that. I walked in there and they had just started selling them, and I was totally shocked. I didn't know they were doing this. I thought they were just doing kind of a silver one or a yeah. Oh, that's neat. So some facts here. Ocean of Storm covers 10.5% of the total lunar surface area. It's the largest of the lunar seas. It's the only one classified as an ocean. Imagine that. And these are $400. Where a Blancpain 50 fathoms, like a real one. Let's see what they're going for now. I think, yeah. They are $11,000, looking like, for a used one. Yeah, they're expensive. $15,000 for brand new, I believe. A couple of different ones in less, but they're 50 fathoms, like flagship, which this is based on. Over 10 grand. So they're even more expensive than yeah, wow. They're expensive. Totally worth it if that's what you're into. The chronograph version is about 22,000. So double the man. Beautiful watch. And if you want an original mil spec one, like from the 60s, you're looking at 50 grand, 40 to $50,000 for a 1960s one. This is again why one of the best collectible watches for the money and the history. Omega Speedmaster. Every time. They are unbelievably historic. They're available. They are unchanged from what was brought on the moon practically. You find a vintage one from 1969, 1970, 1974. That is what was brought to the moon. And in fact, on Apollo Soyuz, on Skylab, all the shuttle things, if you get a modern one, an 1861 movement Speedmaster made through, what was it, 2019, 2018? It's the same watch. It was made exactly the same way. The new ones are phenomenal. They're a coaxial movement. They brought back the step dial, which was back in the 60s also. They're really, really good. The price has gone up accordingly. So you can still find older ones, even older I mean like 2018, 2019, you can find 2000, year 2000 to 2018 or so. The one that I wear, this one is from 2001. Whatever. I wear it every day. It was I had it serviced. It's like a brand new watch. I wear it literally every day in every condition. I've gone in the water with it. I've smashed it against car parts as I'm putting, brakes and stuff back together, transmissions. Goes with me everywhere. And for a watch that's like 4,000, 3 to 4,000. If you get them new, they're, 7, 8,000. Usually you can find a better deal on that, but for that, the history of it is absolutely incredible. And for that matter, you want to try it out, start with something that's also historic. The Bulova Lunar Module Pilot is an excellent, excellent way to enter that world and functionally have something almost identical. But again, it's not Omega. It's not, it's not part of the sort of club of this, like, historic lineage. But it's close, and it's very sturdy. It's very resistant. It's water resistant. I forget to what. I think it says it right here actually. 50 meters. So you can go swimming with this. You can go bathing, shower, whatever. It does have a sapphire crystal. I find them really incredible. Anyway, guys, that's just a little live stream I wanted to do today. Chat with everybody, catch up, talk about a couple things. We might do another live stream or a video coming out soon on the Project Astrovet. And yeah, everybody stay warm, stay comfortable, stay healthy. I'm Max with Luna Replicas. It's been so nice seeing everybody. Have a good night.